All right. So today we're doing 2.4 adding probabilities. I'm going to kind of simplify this and just say the probability of one event or another event is the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. Okay? So this is the last thing in probability. We'll still be doing some probability stuff next week, but it's a little different than what we've been doing. So when it says or, you add. When it says or, you add. So yesterday, what was the word we always saw? And meant to multiply. Or means to add. Okay? So Keisha has a stack of 8 baseball cards, 5 basketball cards, and 6 soccer cards. If she selects a card at random from the stack, find the probability of the situations below. So, probability of baseball. How many baseball cards are there?
8.
Okay. Over how many total cards? How many total cards? 19. Okay. When it says or, your next thing to do is a plus. Jonah, turn all the way around for notes. All the way around. Put a plus. How many soccer cards are there? 6 out of? Okay. Now what you have to ask yourself, sometimes you have to do the subtraction, sometimes you don't. Is it possible to be a baseball and a soccer card at the same time? No. So then there's nothing to subtract. So you just type this in your calculator. 8 over 19 plus 6 over 19. Wait, I need the percent. Anybody? 73.7? Okay. All right, Jonah brings up a good point. If you want to have to type less in your calculator, you could use your old-fashioned rules to help you. When you're adding fractions, the bottom has to be the same, and it stays the same. So 8 plus 6 is 14. It'd be 14 over 19 would be all you'd have to type in your calculator. Okay? Or you can type them both in. It doesn't matter. Okay. What is the probability of football?
Football.
0. Now, my final answer is not 0 because it says or. So I put a plus. How many basketball cards are there? 5 out of 19. Now, you have to ask yourself, is it possible to be football and basketball? No, so there's nothing to subtract out. Okay, so all you'd have to type in your calculator is 5 over 19. What is that? 26.3. Okay. All right. Now we have a card is drawn from a standard deck of cards to determine the probability. Probability of a 6. How many 6s are in a deck of cards? 4. And this will be up on the board tomorrow, and I'll finish out the black. So there's 4 6s out of how many cards? 52. What does or mean to do? Add. How many cards are kings? 4 out of 52. And then you ask yourself, is it possible to be a 6 and a king?
No.
No. So there's nothing to subtract. Yes. Okay. So what do we get for this one? 15.4? Anybody disagree?
No.
Okay. All right. Probability of red or black. Chase is not here. Tanner, probability of getting a red. What? How many are there? 26 out of 52. Or means to do what page? Add. And there are 26 out of 52 black cards. Tanner brings up a good point. You could put a half plus a half because you know half are red and half are black. That works too. What's a half plus a half? 1. What is that as a percent?
100.
100%. So did you have to do work on that one? No, because you know you're going to get a red or a black
Either way.
100% of the time. Okay? All right. All right, for this next part, once again, just to keep your life easier, I'm just doing the same rule. Probability A, you don't have to write it down again if you don't want to, plus probability of B minus probability of A and B. So it's the same rule, just to make our life simple. So that's when it says or, that you do that rule. Okay? All right. The enrollment at South High School is 1,400. Suppose 550 students take French, 700 take algebra, and 400 take both French and algebra. Draw a Venn diagram to illustrate the situation. So a Venn diagram is one of these. Okay. What do you think we're labeling the circle on the left? French. And what about the circle over here? Algebra. Okay. Keelan, how many people take just French? 550 just take French. Kirsten, how many people take algebra? 700. And Keith, how many people take both? 400. All right, so, Jonah, what is the probability of getting somebody who takes French? How many people just take French? 550. Out of how many? Anybody? 1,400. It set it up here. 1,400. Anthony, what does or mean to do? Add. Austin, how many people take algebra? 700 over 1,400. Now you have to ask yourself, is there anybody who takes algebra and French? Yes. So you have to subtract those people out. So 400 over 1,400. So sometimes there's some people you have to subtract out. Okay? All right, anybody can give me the answer? Good, 60.7%. Okay? All right, this next situation, a card is drawn from a standard deck of cards to determine the probability. Kaylin, what's the probability of getting a queen? Good. There are 4 queens out of a deck of 52. Or means to add. Trayvon, how many diamonds are there? Can you see from where on the board? No. It's right here, but I don't think you can see it from your seat. There's 13 of them. So 13 over 52. Cole, are there any cards that are queens and diamonds? Yes, there is a queen and a diamond. How many cards are queen and diamonds? Right here. There's one card that's a queen and a diamond. So you have to minus 1 over 52. Okay. Anybody got that one? Good. Shh. All right, Jacob, what's the probability of getting a black card? 26 over 52. Or means to add. How about Mariah? What's the probability of getting a, what does that say? Ace? 4 out of. Very good. And Tanner, are there any cards that are aces and blacks? How many? 2. So once again, it would make your life easier if you remembered that they have a common denominator. So it's 26 plus 4 is 30 minus 2 is 28. All you'd have to type in your calculator is 28 over 52. Less typing. Okay. Anybody got this one? All right, those of you who came in late, I will come back to this slide. All right. The next one, 2 cards are drawn from a standard deck of cards. Find each probability. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this one. They're both, it just depends on how your brain works. They're the same level of easiness. Okay, so the probability of getting 2 kings, all right? How many kings are there in a deck? 4. And I need to choose 2 of them, okay? I need to choose 2 of them. Out of how many total cards are there? 52, and I'm choosing 2, okay? Now it says or, so I'll put a what next? Plus. How many cards are black to choose from? 26. How many am I choosing? 2 over 52, choose 2. Are there any cards that are black and kings? Yes. So I'm going to have to subtract. How many cards are black and kings? There's 2 cards that are black and a king. So 2, I'm choosing 2 over 52, choose 2. Okay? That's one way to do it. You'd have to type all that in your calculator. Okay? The second way to do it. So don't type yet. Don't type yet. See if you like the second way better before you start typing. The second way is to think about it like this. I need a king and a king, or a black and a black. Okay? So, how many cards are kings out of 52? What does and mean to do? Multiply. Now, I need another king. How many kings are left? 3 out of 51. Because I need to end up with 2 kings in my hand. So I'm not going to put the first one back. What does or mean to do? Add. How many blacks are there? Out of 52. And I need another black out of 51. Now, are there any cards that are black and kings? Yes. How many? So the first card I draw will be 2. There's 2 choices, but I have to draw a second card too. How many black and kings are left? 1 out of 51. Okay. So you either have to type all that in or all that. Either one. I know. Anybody got it? Good.
Is that around the same point if you do 28C2 or 52C2?
I don't think so, but nope. Nope. That worked. Yeah. How? All right, this next one, probability of both 8. I'm just going to do it the C way. If you want to do it this way, you're welcome to do that on your own. How many cards are 8s? 4, and I'm choosing how many? 2 over 52 C2. Or means to add. How many cards are jacks? 4. I'm choosing 2 over 52 C2. Are there any cards that are a jack and an 8 on the same card? No, so I don't have to subtract anything on this one. So I got to do 4C2. If you do Jacob's shortcut, you would just do 4C2 plus 4C2, press enter, and then divide by 52C2. Okay, anybody? What? Yep. Okay. All right, probability of getting both threes. Gracie, how would I set up just the threes? What would I write? 2 over 52C2. Connor, what does OR mean to do? What? Did he already say it? OR means to put a plus. Okay. All right, guys. How many cards are less than 5 in a deck? Number cards. How many number cards are less than 5? There's 1, 2, 3. But how many in every suit? 12. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 cards. Choosing 2 over 52, choose 2. Just do numerical for this one, okay? All right, are there any cards that are less than 5 and a 3 on the same card? Yes. Which cards are those? The 3s. How many 3s are there? Yes. Another shortcut here is the 4 choose 2 and the 4 choose 2 would cancel each other out because you're subtracting that. So you would only have to do 12 choose 2 over 52 choose 2. Let me say that again, Jose. This one would cancel out with that one because you're subtracting them right there. Anybody got it? 4.9? Yep. Okay. Okay, let me have Anthony help me with 2 face cards. How many face cards are there? Just Jack, Queen, and King, but in the entire deck. 12. All right, so 12C2 over 52C2. Caitlin, how many reds are there to choose from? Yep. Over 52, choose 2. And Jose, can you have any cards that are face and red? How many of those? 6. Choose 2 over 52. Choose 2. Anybody? Thank you. 28.4%. All right, flip it over to the back. Jonah, read A for us. Good. Kirsten, what's the probability of a literature book? Out of 9. Very good. Olivia, what does OR mean to do? Add. And Olivia, what's the probability of getting an algebra book? 4 over 9. Anytime it says OR, you have to ask yourself, can it be a literature and an algebra book at the same time? No. Okay? All right. So, again, I'll take the answer from anybody. Thank you. All right, Cole, read the next one for us. Good. Tanner, what's the probability of rolling a 5? Good. Or means to add. Jacob, what's the probability of getting a number greater than 3 when you roll a dice? Out of? Good. So you could get a 4, a 5, or a 6. Okay? You have to ask yourself, is it possible to get a 5 and a number greater than 3 on the same roll? Yes. What is that? 1 out of 6. So again, these would cancel if you wanted to type less in your calculator. And what is 3 over 6? Which is what? 50%. So again, using your brain could save you some time here. Okay. All right. C, Charlie, read that one for us. Good. Chase, what's the probability of getting a boy? 14 over 34. So, yeah, do you get it now? It's worded a little tricky on this one. Then this one says or, so I'll put a plus. Paige, probability of getting a senior. Yep. So the way she got 11 is 7 of the girls are seniors, 4 of the boys are seniors. So 4 and 7 gives you 11. And Austin, is it possible to be a boy and a senior? How many of those are there? Yes. I'll take the answer from anybody. Okay. All right, Jamie reaches into a dish and selects a token. Find the probability of each situation. What's the probability of Jamie picking a circle or a heart? Hope, what's the probability of getting a circle? I think it's 5. 5 out of what? 14. Okay. Or means to add. Trayvon, what's the probability of getting a heart? Good. And Kayla, is it possible to be a circle and a heart token at the same time? No, so you don't have to subtract anything. Anybody got this one? 64.3. Y'all got something different? Okay. What's the probability of Jamie picking a triangle or a blue token? Keith, what would be the probability of a triangle? Good. Or means to add. Jamie, what's the probability of getting a blue? Out of. And Samantha, is it possible to be a triangle and blue at the same time? Yeah, how many of those are there? 1. Anybody? What is the probability of Jamie picking an orange or a hexagon token? Mariah, what's the probability of getting an orange? Good. Keelan, what's the probability of getting a hexagon? Yep. So these are red. And those are orange. Right there. Okay. How about Jose? Is it possible to be orange and a hexagon? Yeah, how many are there? 1. Anybody got this one? Yep. Yeah. What's the question? Yeah. Okay. What's the probability of Jaden picking a blue heart or a green triangle? Caitlin, what's the probability of getting a blue heart? 0. That doesn't mean my whole answer is 0 because it says or, which means I'm adding. When you add 0, does that make your whole answer 0? No. Okay, so we need to keep going. Mariah, what's the probability of getting a green triangle? 1 out of 14. And is it possible to be a blue heart and a green triangle at the same time? No. So just 1 out of 14. Anybody? Okay. What is the probability of Jamie picking a red or yellow? Charlie, what's the probability of getting a red? Very good. Plus, Keith, what's the probability of getting a yellow? Good. And Olivia, can you be red and yellow at the same time? No. That's what my first period said. What do you get for this one? All right, stretch break. Says one tile with each letter of the alphabet is placed in a bag and one is drawn at random. What is the probability of selecting a vowel or a letter from the word equation? So the probability of selecting a vowel from what? What are you selecting a vowel from? The alphabet, okay? So each letter of the alphabet is placed in a bag, okay? So your total is going to be what? 26. So there's 26 tiles with every letter of the alphabet. Okay, now the first thing they're asking is selecting a vowel. What are the vowels? So how many vowels are there? 5. Okay, or means to put a plus. How many letters are there from the word equation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, is it possible to have a vowel and a letter from the word equation? Yes. How many? There are 5 vowels that are also in the word equation. What's the shortcut you could do on this one? Those 2 cancel. Okay. All right, what do you have for this one? All right, F will probably show up as a bonus somewhere, so you're welcome to do that later on your own if you want to get ready for the bonus question. All right, this last one, the Venn diagram below represents senior citizens and their music preferences. The number of senior citizens surveyed was 60. Determine the probability of each situation. So the probability of only Western, how many people like only Western? 6. Out of how many? What? 60. It says it right here. 60 total. Or means to add. How many people like only classical? 3. Right here. If they're in any of these other things, they like something else too. So like 3 people like only classical. Right, you really have to think here. Is it possible to like only Western and only classical at the same time? No, you can like Western and classical, but not with the word only in there, okay? All right, what do you have for this one? What? Yeah. Okay. All right, now this one means the probability of liking classical, not just only classical, but liking classical. So that's going to be this whole bubble. All right, out of 60. Or means to add. Now I want people who like 1940s pop. It didn't say only, so it's anybody who likes 1940s pop. 24. Now, is there anybody who likes classical and 1940s pop? Be careful. It's both of these. They're in both circles. They like both of them. 5 and 6 is. What you got? $56.7. Anybody disagree with that? Okay. All right. Probability of liking classical and Western and 1940s pop. What's different about this one? Very good. So you could multiply them and get the same answer, or you could just use the Venn diagram to your advantage. Who likes classical and Western and 1940s pop? 6 people like all 3. 6 people like all 3 out of 60, which is 10%.